Well, I got the Air Venturi Avenger Bullpup 22 cal back out on the bench here. 2200 PSI on the regulator and 2 turns in on the hammer spring. But following the last video, surprised not anybody called it out. This gun got 10 shots and like 200 PSI that it used on the last group that I took with no O-ring or delete or anything on the probe itself. There is no breech seal at all. And the regulator was set at 2200 again, and the fill pressure was around 2400 at the time. And I can't believe nobody said anything, but I didn't catch it until I watched the video again as I was editing, and I thought, you know what? I could work with this. So what I have out here now is the same pellets, the FX 1813s. The chronograph is on, and if you remember, you watched the video with no seal on it, it was shooting like 780. So I have the target down there with the camera rolling again at 35 yards, but I flipped the target over. So now I want to see, this is going to be a control group. Now that was the first shot. I didn't even reset the regulator, so I didn't reset the regulator. All right. Chronograph ain't picking up. Okay, let's see here. I'm aiming at the top dot, by the way.
791.
Okay. It is a little bit warmer out today. Not by much. About 5 degrees difference than yesterday.
793. 791.
Okay. Pretty consistent with no breech O-ring.
786.
Can't tell. It looks like they're just stacking in there. But I didn't even reset the regulator.
786.
Jeez. All right, we're resetting. Oh, pulled that one. 782. Yeah, that one went right in there. I think one more. Yep, that one dropped a little bit. Yeah, so it's crazy that it showed about a 3,800 PSI fill, and again, still using only 200 PSI for 10 shots, guys, with no breech O-ring on there. No breech seal, and 3,600 PSI on the fill side, and 22 again on the reg side. This is crazy how well it's doing. But I think I could tune it in just a hair better. If you see those one shots, I know one of them was probably a flyer, but the other one I did not pull. So I think I know what's happening here. So if I'm not using that much air and I have no probe O-ring on here and the velocity is low, the valve is closing sooner than with an O-ring on there, stopping it up. And again, I'm shooting the same pellets. So it's pretty well tuned actually. But with those two outsiders, I think something happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and back off the hammer spring about one full turn and take 10 more shots. Go ahead and, okay. Because air guns will tell you where they need to be set at. I found that out several occasions. Okay, let's go for the second dot. Should shoot low and left, I think.
700.
Yep.
45.
And when you tune for velocity, I don't really tune for velocity because I tune per distance. Because the velocity number doesn't tell you how good your gun's going to shoot. So it looks like if you're shooting close range, you really don't need all that power for accuracy here. Ooh, knocked the hole out on that one. Ooh, 750 feet a second.
745.
One more here, I think.
747.
Dang, how many more do I got? It's a 10 round mag.
735.
That's it. Okay. So I only used 200 PSI on that as well. So this, it doesn't make any sense, guys, when I'm shooting with a gun that has no breech seal and it's using less air and shooting a little bit better when I turned it down just a one turn on the hammer spring. And you can see there, it's about right at 3,400 PSI on the gauge here. So definitely interesting that it's using less air with no seal on the gun. But then again, an air gun will tell you where it needs to be set and tells you where it needs to be shot at. And obviously downrange, you can see that second 10 shot group down there. Let's go down there and check it out. 35 yards. Here's the camera. Still going. I mean, look at that. Big difference there. Like they wanted a group, but look at this. That's really nice right there. 790 versus 740-ish. Can't really argue that. And you can see the group's tightened up from yesterday, obviously. And the group starting off on this one, they were just tearing the paper. Well, everybody, I hope you got something from this video, and I showed you that velocity is really not that important as long as your gun shoots good, even with a breech seal off the gun. Now, with that said, there are multiple ways to tune like that. If you didn't want to mess with the hammer spring, which you're going to have to change something in the weather, because you just can't keep the same tune throughout the whole year, at least where I live. Now, if your temperature stays the same, you can. But our temperature goes below zero and goes above 100 degrees every year. Meaning, in the wintertime, cold air, it gets really dense and concentrated, and you're really wasting air in your air gun keeping it the same tune. And again, if shooting it without a breech seal on the gun itself shoots better than with a breech seal, as you've seen in the previous video, and it used less air, there you go. I mean, so either turning the hammer spring back or increasing the regulator pressure, and that's all you got to do in the wintertime, in the colder temps, I should say. So thanks again for watching. Hope to see you guys on the next one.